and it was for a horror podcast, and we had trouble with the audio in the beginning too.
Oh, really?
But then we got it fixed. But this isn't Zoom, so
I used Zoom one time. Like I said, it was with Ron Jeremy.
yeah.
And so and his manager set it up. And so I was like, well, I've never used Zoom either. And then we were playing ping pong back and forth, trying to get it going. And we finally got it going. And I'm only saying this because currently he's locked up, but he's kind of an old man. And there was some old moments.
No, he's definitely an old man. We've met him several times. He's
a great guy. Trust me. I really hope what he's being charged with is not true.
Totally true. I mean, he's a gropey dude. I mean, he literally has handlers that like, stop it, God damn it, Ron, what are you doing?
I know. Well, what kind of weird psychology is that? All right, let's be completely frank. This man, for a living, gets paid to do the one thing that most people are trying to accomplish all day long.
Well, when I first met him at it was Exotica down in Miami, the first thing he did, I was like, "Oh, can I have a picture?" And he's just kind of was like, "Rawr." Like, so I went over. First thing he did is he shoved his hand in my shirt and pulled out my titty and started to suck on it.
Which was totally fine.
I would do if I met you, but I'm just saying, like, I'd be like, "Hey, this is how we say hi. I'm from Northern Michigan. This is how we do it."
We don't shake hands anymore. This is what we do.
Hands. This is COVID, okay? We're doing straight infantile breastplate. But I just, here's the thing. And so, okay, so weird kind of self-promotion, I guess. I'm trying to work on a couple different podcasts because I have a bunch of ideas. So whenever my free time, I work on them. And one of them I want to do is called No More Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be centered around the fact that we don't have any more heroes, that all these people that we grew up with are monsters.
Well, and they've always been monsters.
But I'll be frank about this. It's just like, using your leverage to get something out of a female, or in any other case, it's wrong. You know what I mean? Harvey Weinstein, all that shit. But it kills me because, like with Bill Cosby, all right? So I'm a failed stand-up comic, but I still go to the Comedy Store in La Jolla and try to do open mic and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I grew up stealing Bill Cosby himself out of my stepdad's room, the tape, and listening to that shit, and I'm like, I want to make people laugh. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And this dude's slipping women a Mickey for like 40 years, and you're like, oh, come on. Why do you have to be human?
Well, the thing is, too, I'm kind of like the wrong woman to ask about stuff like that, because I'm really sure that if I get uber famous, that I'm going to get Me Too'd. I'm not good at all. Okay. Because I don't mind it. Like,
that's hot because listen, there's that weird dynamic of like Mary Kay Letourneau, right? If it's some like 45-year-old teacher and like a 12-year-old girl, creepy as fuck.
Yes.
But if it's like a 45-year-old woman and a 12-year-old kid, it's like, bro.
Well, 12-year-old. 12-year-old's a little young, but 16.
No.
Billy was, he had the little thin mustache, dude. Like he was, yeah.
No, that's the little cookie duster is not my thing. No. I don't like the little John Waters, like 13-year-old wisps.
Take a good look at my shit. I didn't even start getting facial hair until I was like 33, right? And this grows all wrong. It's like a garbage fire broke out of my face. And I wish I had something a little bit more eloquent than what's going on here. This is like a homeless woman's potted plants on my upper lip. So
it doesn't look bad at all.
And really,
in real life, it's a scraggly band of just randomly colored hairs. You know what I mean? Like you're looking at it digitally.
we were just talking about this last night. For most of my life, my facial hair is like the same way. I'm not a hairy dude, but once I just stopped shaving long enough, all those little fucking spots kind of filled in. It was like magic. Like you grow more hair than I do, and if you saw my facial, you'd be like, yeah, you are a burly dude. But it's just all like a giant comb over. You know what I mean? Well, so just don't shave. It'll grow in. You'll look weird for a while.
Dude, I was in the Navy and I was in boot camp. I can grow facial hair, you know what I mean? And my grandmother was like, "Yeah, it's because your real father was like First Nation up in Canada." And I'm like, okay, so I guess Indians can't grow facial hair. But just one day it happened. But when I was in boot camp, they're like, "You have peach fuzz and you have to shave it." And I was like, "What?" They were yelling at me. I was like, "What do you want me to shave? I ain't got shit on my face." You know what I mean? So now I got this weird little, look at that. I got to get Rogaine with that. Talk about a comb over. I got to comb that over. I don't even look up people. I'm like, oh, no, thank you.
Oh, at least it's better than Delia's. Like Chris D'Elia's facial hair. That's all like patchy and just it doesn't look good. I don't know.
I don't. Do you like Chris D'Elia?
I do.
Do you?
Yep, I do.
I remember him as an actor before a comic, though. I remember seeing him in like commercials and shit.
I don't remember the commercials. I remember he did Whitney, played her boyfriend.
Whitney Cummings. Oh, I love Whitney Cummings.
Yeah, so do I. I would do evil things with her fuck doll, her robot fuck doll.
Which there should definitely be a porn of. There should be immediately. She should definitely whore that doll out like quickly. Now. I want to see the video. I want it.
So you're talking like she has that super hyper realistic fuck doll, right?
Yeah, she paid over $100,000 for it. She had an exact clone made of her, even down to the areola color.
Is it okay? So I get kind of pissy. Like I've been with girls, and if they're not like responding, like you're going down on a girl, and then she's just kind of like thinking about other shit, and then you gotta stop. You're like, I'm sorry, am I interrupting your day or something? Like what's going on? So like a fuck doll is just kind of like, do you got to play like a tape? Does it come with like a pre-recorded, like one of those dolls you pull the string?
No, she's got
so big. Like
no, she's got one of those hyper realistic real AI one where it will respond to you. So you
like
could say, how was
you came inside it?
Well, I wouldn't know if she might have had that setting. Who knows? She originally got it for her fiance, but apparently they're not together anymore. So, but she still has the doll.
Fiance?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of shit is that?
Well, if she's not interested or in the mood, say, here, fuck my doll or whatever. Or I'm always watching you.
She's like, listen, just go to the closet, okay? I got a headache.
Yeah.
Are those things like are they stiff bendable?
Oh, they've got a complete inner working skeleton in it, and you can pose them any way you could a human, even if
they don't really stand all that well. You got to lean them on something or put them on a stand, really.
Or you can put them doggy style or with their ankles behind their head or whatever you want to do.
They do that really well.
They're completely articulated.
Because they found something.
Yeah, you could do the whole like arm cross thing and just the whole pissy.
So here's my thought process on that. Okay. So you know how they got rid of Craigslist Backpage?
Yes.
Right.
But did they really?
They did. Yeah, there's like coded messages under a rant. But you know how they didn't replace it with anything, right? And so, I mean, you got like double lists and stuff like that. I'm telling way too much about myself. But you basically pulled the carpet off all these perverts who had a pretty good, channel to find each other under the radar. And then they pull it out of there. How many like wannabe serial killers are fucking ordering these fuck dolls? You know what I mean? And then it's gonna take away, like, it might be saving lives to have these things. It's like not just saving relationships. Literally, these guys are ordering these fuck dolls and mutilating them. They're like, I don't need to go out and find women.
Well, there's been a big discussion about that because they were all in a little kerfuffle because they were talking about having child dolls for the pedophiles so they wouldn't go out and touch kids. And I don't.
Hey, it's not a real thing.
I know, but I have really mixed emotions about that. Like, one, if it goes along the way with your serial killer thinking that it would help, maybe, but on the other hand, that's fucking gross and wrong.
Well, sure, it's gross and wrong and all of that. However, we're talking about a thing. I mean, there is no difference between taking a My Little Pony plushie, sticking a fleshlight in, banging the shit out of it, as there is, it's creepy to me too, but it's a fucking thing.
Giant difference, all right?
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's not real. So, you can't like...
Rainbow Sparkle.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, no, they do. They do. They get really into it.
I don't know. I don't remember her name, but do you remember the TED Talk about I think she was Swedish, the therapist that came out and said there are pedophiles who have not offended, but they're like, I feel these urges, but I have not offended, and I want to seek treatment, but I feel like my life will be destroyed.
It probably would be. They're totally right.
And
Totally right.
she got lambasted. She got dragged over the coals, and all she was trying to say is like, look, there's people that are like she was trying to say, you can't just be born a fucking pedophile and then you're damned to hell forever. Like, if you feel these urges and you haven't offended and you want to come forward and say, I need help with this,
I think they should get help.
but she said there's people out there like that are terrified, and they're like, I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel this way. And she just people were like, you're a monster, because the general consensus is that people are like, if you have any kind of feeling like that, you just need to get fucking publicly crucified upside down.
But then I'm saying, though, if you're talking to a therapist, you've got patient-therapist confidentiality, and if that's what you're telling them, then you're not going public with it. You're just telling your therapist, you're like, hey, I need help because I think I want to diddle kids, and that's really wrong.
Doesn't doctor-patient confidentiality preclude if you committed a crime? Like, you couldn't go in and tell your therapist, like, look, I fucking murdered and dismembered 47 prostitutes.
But if they're saying that they have these feelings but they haven't offended yet, then they haven't committed the crime. So
I think, like I said, it's the court of public opinion. There's people out there that are just like gonna fucking murderize them just for suggesting that.
Well, I mean, first of all, there's record. Like, I mean, she's gonna have notes. It's gonna be susceptible to somebody getting. I mean, I don't know. I can see where.
I don't know. I've never wanted to bang a kid, so
Honestly, I like women older than myself. You know what I mean? Like, if you're like 55, no condoms, no diseases, let's go. But that's not always true. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird dynamic, and this the sex doll thing is like, it opens up a lot of questions. Now, granted, how you spend your money is how you spend your money. I would just need my sex doll to respond. And be honest with you, Katie, when you're hitting a doggy style and you watch that ass roll, I don't think them dolls have that.
You can get them to have that. They even have it. They have for crying out loud, they have a thing called a spanky. And it's one of those hacked off torsos where it's just the ass with the asshole and the pussy, you know. But the spanky ones, they come with a paddle, or you can use your hand, and when you slap the ass, it gets red. It gets pink. Like, you can actually like smack it, and it does jiggle. It's from I believe Pipe Dreams, called like Fuck Me Silly. I used to watch those porns a lot where just guys fucking hacked off torsos. I'm really into it. I don't know why. I just like it a lot.
Well, okay, so speaking of that, have you ever seen a Serbian film?
Of course I have.
Okay.
I got a little too excited saying that.
No, I love it. Let's
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it 3 times.
Seen it. I ordered mine on Target.com, by the way.
Oh, did you?
I got it from fucking Target. And
you got that from Target?
Fucking Target. I got it from Target. The Blu-ray too. And that part where she gets the horse tranquilizer and he's fucking that mom and he just starts hacking her head off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you kind of see the ass jiggle when he's still doing it, and you're like, why is this awesome? Right?
Well, someone
but
bought.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say they had the baby on the auction. They had from the you know, the baby scene.
Well, you just spoil away. I mean, you really. I mean, how many people are going to go watch it?
For anybody that ever listens to this.
Serbian, yeah. Good luck.
Whatever.
Good luck with explaining that fucking plot. Anyway, so
dude,
whatever.
I'm a fucking psycho. I will corner anybody and be like, "Have you ever seen a Serbian film?" And they're like, "Sir, this is Starbucks."
Yeah, I know. Have you seen? Have you seen?
I'm just telling you, it's like a Serbian rock star, and he stars in this movie, and it's like and then there's that sub narrative about like the former. If you don't pay attention the first time, you miss it, that she's talking about how she does bestiality because there's more money in it.
Yeah, because he used to be a porn star, and she's like they were friends because she was in porn too, but she still is, and that's how they got together. And then she introduced him to the director, and the director was like, "Hey, we're gonna pay you. Everyone's gonna be taken care of for the rest of their lives." Oh. And here's
the thing. I always tell people, like, you hear about these situations where people are offered money. to do a certain thing, and then somebody's like, I would never do that. And it's like, yeah, that's because nobody's ever come to you with a large amount of cash and offered you something like that. You know what I mean? I'm in the cannabis business. I've seen, 160,000 in cash in front of me sitting on a table in a hotel room. A lot of people haven't seen anything close to that. So it's like, you don't fucking know. It's like selling out your country. It's like, I would never sell out my country. It's because no Russians ever sat in front of you with a fucking briefcase full of $10 million and asked you to sell out your country, because you don't know. You haven't been there.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you seen Solo or 180 Days of Sodom?
Of course I have. I got that on Easter.
Happy Easter!
You know what I like.
What's for dinner?
Did you know that was based on the Marquis de Sade book that he wrote while imprisoned, and he wrote it on his slip of paper?
I do know that because I have the movie and I have it all in paperback too. So I've seen the movie and I have the book.
I've torrented that shit, and I'm like, this is fantastic. And I'll be honest, it's the same thing as Serbian film. There are people that cannot stand it. I showed it to a friend one time, and she hit me up the next day, and she was deeply disturbed that she was mad at me, right? But the thing is like, there, people like you and me, I'm gonna go ahead and go on a limb and assume we can differentiate between reality and art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, who was Andy Kaufman's best friend? He created Comic Relief. Fuck.
Billy Crystal? No.
No, it was the guy that Paul Giamatti played him in the Man in the Moon with Jim Carrey. Anyways, the creator of Comic Relief, Andy Kaufman's best friend. There, I read a biography about Andy Kaufman, and he said he got in trouble because he said art. He's like, fuck you, can be art if I say it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So art can be anything. And, if you can take it, if you can watch it and it affects you on an emotional level, but it doesn't make you want to go out and do dangerous shit, you know what I mean? And you can appreciate it for what it is. Like horror films, you know what I mean? People don't like horror films. Okay, well, I want to see Michael Myers stab the nurse in the neck. And it doesn't mean I agree with it. It doesn't mean I'm going to go out and do it. I'm not going to copy it. I don't want to see it in real life. But it's like, cool, this is art. And they took it to this level. And I can appreciate that. And if you don't like it, then fuck yourself.
I want to see a girl take 3 cocks in her ass. I can see that. I don't want to do it myself. But it doesn't make me want to run out and do it.
3 cocks? Like, there's not even room for the other.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying, like, some of you have to sit sideways, like Twister.
Yeah, well, no, we had a picture at one point because there are several, and it happens a lot easier than you think. Oddly enough,
depends how stretched out they are, but yeah, there's definitely this. It was 5 total. She had 3 in her 6 total because she had 3 in her ass, 2 in her puss, and 1 in her mouth.
Okay.
Okay. She was quite stuffed.
I'll be honest with you. You're talking to some, like, I have no shame in my game. So, like, I enjoy porn. Maybe a little too much. Maybe that's why I can't hold down a job. But I get Christmas cards from, like, Pornhub. They're like, thanks, we got to expand our bandwidth because of you. But I like talking about Salo or talking about Serbian film. I enjoy porn. I enjoy the medium. It doesn't make me dislike sex with real people. You know what I mean? And just be like, if I'm alone, got my phone, I have access to X videos. Yeah, I'm gonna watch something. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And so I'm in San Diego, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to work at this cowboy bar. And, I'm originally from Michigan. And so I met this guy one night and he's like, oh, I'm from Michigan. So somehow we got to have a fucking kinship. And he goes, I got to introduce you to this girl. And so I meet her and she goes, I'm a porn star. So I'm like, pump the brakes, honey. Like, are you a porn star or somebody fucked you with it, on film? Like, Are you notable? It turns out, long story short, it was Danica Dillon. I don't know if you ever heard of her.
I have.
And I'm still friends with her on Facebook. And she used to come and stay at my place when she would come down from LA, and she would do the what was my first sex teacher, American Porn Star, or something like that. When she would come down to San Diego to do her live webcam, she'd stay with me and stuff like that. And my girlfriend at the time, she was okay with it. She's like, yeah, she can stay here. And I remember one time she was there and she came out of the bathroom and she had like this see-through like underwear bra combo on. She's like, will you adjust my strap for him? I'm like, yeah, because we were like friends, you know what I mean? It wasn't like anything more than that. And so I was adjusting her strap and my girlfriend walked in and I looked at her and I was like, this isn't what it looks like. I'm like, I always wanted to say that. But she knew there was like that dynamic between her and I. But it was cool. And to this day, we still talk. And I saw a meme that had her on it. And so I hit her up. I was like, hey, do you know you're a meme? She's like, yeah, I saw that a long time ago. No, but she's a nice girl. She's out of the business. She's married now. Or she may not be out of the business. Who knows? Poor husband.
Hey, we used to make porn for quite a while. I have a couple dozen movies, but I wouldn't call myself
I've looked.
Well, no, they haven't been available for a while.
Oh, I know a lot of Czechoslovakian websites.
Oh, I'm
somebody
sure
copied it at some point when we had it up.
Eastern Europe.
I'm sure. Good for them. That's part of the reason why we put it out, was for weird people to perv out on it, for sure.
I have to say though, one of the most popular ones that I did that got me in the most trouble was Don't Talk to Strangers, and it was a rape one. Was that the one that you saw? Was it cheerleader?
No, I've only seen brief glimpses. I tried my damnedest to find something.
We'll put it back up again at some point.
Right. No, and here's the thing, and so I'll say this too, and if I ever become uber famous or anybody even gives a shit about me, this will come back at me and I'll explain it away. I do like some of the rape fantasy videos.
No, I do too. I'm totally into it.
So like, you know what I love about like Pornhub and Xvideos? Yeah, you can put different tags in. You can combine stuff.
Oh,
it's like Legos. You can put midget, tattooed, MILF, senior citizen, like incest fantasy, and you're gonna get some good shit on there.
No, like we have 17,452 matching results. You're like, yeah.
No, anything you could have possibly ever have thought of has already been made, and there are 1,000 girls doing it.
Rule 34
right now, if it exists.
Rule 34 right there. If it exists, there's porn about it. And here's the thing too: is like personally, the ones I've been into is like, you ever heard of Blue Pill Men?
Sure have.
Yeah, there you go. See, I like that one. She's like, I need money for nursing school. And they're like, oh, looks like we can help you. And it's like, to me, that's just like the X-rated version of GoFundMe. So
there's a different version of GoFundMe? No.
Yeah, it's like if I could have gotten to the places I have in life and accomplished things I have simply by sucking dick, I'd be like, I would have went around that whole thing and gone that way, but that was never an option for me.
Dude, I didn't even have to meet anyone in person. I have fans, thankfully enough, that I did a GoFundMe a couple of years ago for I drove cross country from California to here, and I was like, anybody want to panties pictures? They're like, yes. I'm like, okay. So then some people they bought my underwear and they bought bras that I wear, pantyhose, socks. Someone wanted a pair of old shoes that I had. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I mean, they got presents for it.
Actually, okay, that opens up something I want to talk about. There is a so thankfully, so the world's going through a tough time right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it's got to get worse before it gets better kind of thing. And I think we're nuts deep in that right now. And a big one is sex work. There's the stigma about sex work.
Right.
But there's, in a way, it's very empowering. Remember Annabelle Chong? She did the world's biggest gangbang.
Oh, is it up to her now? I lose track because how many did she do?
She was a long time ago. This was like this, adjusted for inflation. She was the world's biggest at the time, but she was like a psychology major. I could be butchering that, but she was like, I felt empowered doing that. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of stigmas in the world today that we've got to get rid of. That, like, if you're doing sex work, it's bottom of the barrel shit. Like, you're just doing it because you got nothing else. But what it really, in my personal opinion, it's empowering. You know what I mean? Like, you're taking control of your sexuality. You're accepting what you are. And what you're doing is you're providing a service. And honestly, when you look at, like, for example, and I'm not in any way accusing or saying anything, you look at prostitution. I think prostitution should be illegal because that is the most pure form of consension in the world, where you're like two grown adults who have agreed on one thing to get what they both want out of it. That's the purest form of consent you can find right there. Now, granted, there's the dynamic of like, sex trafficking and everything. That's unfortunate, but you can't really put anyone down because they take that route. Like OnlyFans has opened a giant, it's taken a microcosm of society and it's just opened a giant way for people to make money or to get exposure out there. And I fucking love it. You know what I mean? I think it's amazing. And it's like, I'm going to be the first motherfucker in the front of that parade waving that flag. Like, you don't like titties, you take your ass back in the house, all right? Because somebody does, and somebody's going to fucking buy your Amazon wish list for it.
Well, it's not just titties, too. Guys do it. I know a few of my male friends, they got into it, and they're like, yeah, I jerk off for dudes. Whatever.
Oh,
they're like, I don't care. And they had never had a wish list before either, and people they like to send me things, which is very fucking cool, and I appreciate it very much.
Super cool.
But I don't do OnlyFans though. Like I don't have one of those. I don't know, I guess because I'm lazy and
I give you props for finding a way OnlyFans. OnlyFans is like the fucking going back. It's like the GoFundMe nowadays. Like if you can do it without OnlyFans, it's like fuck.
I like to post my titties, so
I noticed that.
Well, and some people are horror fans too, so they like the B movie horror movies that I've only been in a few, and I've been into a couple smutty ones with like kind of like a weird just B movie exploitation cult kind of shit. It's just it's fun to do, but
it's super fun to do, and I love horror. Period, across the board, hands down. I have a giant horror collection. I can talk endlessly about horror films, and that's so fucking super cool. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you.
Horror is the most underrated genre, and it's the one that elicits the most emotion out of an art form. You know what I mean? Besides The Notebook.
I've honestly never seen that movie.
Holy shit! You're like the second person this week that said that. What's going on? That and My Girl are the only two movies that ever made me cry.
I haven't seen either one. Either one of us have seen either one.
What about his glasses? No, I've seen My Girl a bunch of times. I saw that in the theater when I was little. But yeah, no, I cried. I cried hysterically. Give his glasses. Can't see his glasses.
I'm sitting there just fucking snot in my face. I'm like, I can't. Macaulay.
If you really want to see a tearjerker that's kind of old, it's called Untamed Heart, and it's with Marissa Tomei. Oh, you've heard of it?
I'm a cynic.
Nobody fucking knows this movie. It's with Marissa Tomei and Christian Slater.
Oh yeah. Oh. I'm telling you, like I love old shit. Like I watched Against All Odds. Remember that one?
Never saw it.
It's got James Woods and Jeff Bridges and Sean Young.
Mm-hmm.
And I may have butchered this, but Phil Collins wrote that song Against All Odds as the theme for that movie.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's about an ex-football player got injured, and a bookie hires him to go to Mexico to find his girlfriend that owes him money, and he falls in love with her. And all you can picture is Phil Collins' little tiny bald ass, like, against all odds, and it have to be. And you're like, oh, I love shit like that. Because new movies to me are,
Let's see.
It's just like, yeah, and it's like you take these old films, like I come home, I'm kind of drunk, I watch the Waltons, I watch old shit, and it's just like, it's not as pure as it used to be. This, it's like, I don't know. Oh, God, I just sent myself into a nostalgia coma.
After you get up here, you're going to go eat a pint of ice cream and watch some fucking cry.
Fucking cry to old Delta Burke movies.
Or watch Beaches.
Oh, the wind beneath my wings.
Wow.
I'm telling you, like I said, I'm in the cannabis. So I'm just gonna put it out there. I didn't get to tell anybody. So I was on a Zoom call this morning, my second ever, with an investor, because I lived in Michigan for a little bit, and I was growing weed for a guy, and he just royally fist fucked me over. And I moved back to California, and so I'm trying to get back there. And I was talking to an investor all morning, trying to solicit me some money to try to get this going. I gave him some numbers. He's excited about it, and I think he's gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Because I have a lot of contacts in there, and like I said, there's giant amounts of money into it, and so I want to try to do that. And between doing that, working on podcasts, I fight nostalgia. You know what I mean? I hear the Gummy Bears theme, I start fucking bawling.
Ah, bouncing here and there and everywhere. Yeah.
The horns. Magic and mystery are part of the history, right? Who doesn't love that shit? And you know what? Because I'm afraid of nostalgia. Nostalgia reminds you of when times were good for a lot of us. It's when we didn't have to pay bills and stuff. It's when times were good. You woke up on Saturdays, your family's going out to the lake, you're going to be camping, stuff like that. You're watching DuckTales. It's fucking amazing. And I like kind of existing in that for a little bit, but then I got to climb out of that pool before it just sucks me down into despair.
And pop on a Serbian film. I had for about 3 months. I had the Smurfs theme song stuck in my head. Do you know how annoying that was?
There's a techno version of it, which is really good.
You're kidding. Have you heard the Gummy Bear song? I'm a gummy bear, a little gummy bear.
Shitting me? I love that song. I'm a funny, nummy gummy bear.
I've given that to people. It was like a 10-hour loop.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of, here you go. There's a song, and it's so part of it was like viral. It's called "Big Enough" by Kieran Callahan. He's an Australian artist.
Okay.
And you might have seen it. It's the screaming cowboy in the sky. The guy that's like, ah! But it's this song, and it's got Kieran Callahan and I forgot the other Australian musician, but it's like a kind of half techno song, and then part of it, you remember Jimmy Barnes? He did that song "Working Class Man."
I think so.
And he's like super popular for like being able to scream like metal scream. But anyways, it's like almost a techno song, something you'd hear in a club or something.
Okay.
This time might be big enough for both of us. Ah! And then Jimmy Barnes is screaming up in the sky, kind of like a yeah, dude. And I fucking love that song. You know what I mean? And I always tell people about it. I'm like, you got to hear "Big Enough," even though it's a ridiculous song. It's not something you'd want to play in your car and shit but I play it in my car constantly. But it's good. "Big Enough," Kieran J. Callahan. It's good stuff. But the screaming cowboy became a meme type thing, and they have a version of it where Jimmy Barnes is screaming for 10 hours.
Oh, God.
Oh, dude, but it's good. It's like, dun, 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 and he's like screaming along with it. It's fucking gold. Yeah, I'm telling you, like I told you, I corner people at Starbucks with Serbian films. So.
Yeah, and then you bring up Gummy Bears and DuckTales. So.
And here's the other thing too, like Scrooge McDuck diving into all those coins. You're not gonna dive through it. You're gonna smash onto it like a hard surface.
Of course, right? Especially you're a duck.
You're not gonna climb through that. Yeah, if you're a duck, ducks have hollow bones. That's the whole point. You're just gonna smash into that and be a bloody mess. So, what are we talking about? What are we fucking? That's why a bunch of people. That's why people like me are disillusioned. Like, you told me I can swim through coins. We're having fun. So on top of my big cannabis pitch, I was spending all morning. I'm working on a couple other podcasts. One of them I want to do is like, you know how true crime is huge? It's like the king of all podcasts at this point.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
And so I want to do a podcast where I kind of do a deep dive into things people have heard of, but they might not know the whole story. And so one of them is my first episode is gonna be about Two Girls, One Cup. Right? So everybody's heard of it. A lot of people have seen it. They think it's just a thing where it's like, you know, two women on an idyllic afternoon, their feces starved, whatever. But I was starting to do research on this, and there's like a thing behind it. It's like the guy had to go to court, and there's like a whole paper trail behind this thing.
So it's a whole big deal because people are like, these two girls are eating shit.
Right. And then so when I did that interview with Ron Jeremy, I asked him about it. I'm gonna use a sound clip of it. Is that he was like, oh, it's, you know, reaction videos were big about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Joe Rogan was one of the more famous ones, and Ron Jeremy's like, oh, it's pistachio ice cream. And then I asked him about it. Well, here's the thing: is you can't. I have never done it, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you can't shove a bunch of ice cream up your ass and have it come out the same consistency, right?
Well.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Let's wrap this. Oh, go ahead. Tell me, girl. I'm Oprah.
You got an anal shooter. You do a little anal shooter with the alien egg insertion tool.
Yeah.
You could shoot up there.
The ovipositor?
Yes, ovipositor, exactly.
But
you could put the ice cream inside of a gelatin coating, freeze the ice cream ahead of time, insert the ovum up the anus. It would melt the gelatin, and boom, you'd have soft serve pistachio.
See, I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could also just take a big old like hose from like a beer funnel, shove that up your ass, and have your friend just go and just blow really hard to the other and shoot it up your ass.
Did you imagine that conversation? Like, hey, what are you doing Saturday? Right? I was gonna probably rearrange my garage. Like, listen, I need a favor.
I mean, it totally could be actually pouplé. I mean, there's the other option. You could go with what's staring you right in the face, that they shit in a cup and they fucking ate it. We have witnessed people do this.
So you can debate the shit, but the puke was real.
Well, I have to say, we know a couple of fecal-philiacs, poo players.
Okay.
Yes.
We have witnessed one of their filming parties at a hotel room. And we were invited to join, but politely declined. And
they were they had no problem with that $250 cleaning fee. Huh?
No. Here's the thing. No, they bring all of their stuff with them. They bring these vinyl tarps that they put down on the bed. They cover everything. They do their thing. They clean it up. They wash it in the bathroom when they're done. Rinse everything down.
They had it down. They had it down to a science.
There's 3 people involved. We saw it, but when we were there witnessing it, watching it, but then the one girl really didn't participate very much. I think she's a little poo shy, but the other 2 were just going at it. And then after they cleaned up, the 4 of us, the one girl like dipped, but the 4 of us, we went out to dinner after. It's just like,
would you like
yeah. Well, she was eating like Fiber One bars the whole time before they were filming. And she's like, she's on your way. Can you bring me a bottle of vodka? I'm like, okay. But
so I try not to be judgmental, because I think shaming somebody for like their sexual preference is probably, unless the Kinsey method, unless it hurts people, like you shouldn't be ashamed of what you like, right?
Right.
Now, do these people, are they legitimately like, I want shit in my mouth and I'm getting paid for it, or they're like, I'm getting paid for it, so I'll take shit in my mouth?
No. They
just want shit in their mouth.
They just want to fucking play around.
Yeah, roll around as they're banging, and rub it all over.
They realized that they could make money off of it, so then they're like, all right, her boyfriend was the one that got her into it, and they started making videos for another website and just posting them on there and then making money from them. And he sent me a few of the links.
She is super hot, by the way. Let me add, like general consensus among anybody would be definite super timepiece.
Yeah,
like so hot. If she said I want to shit on you, you're like,
yo, no. Most guys would definitely do whatever she wanted. 100%. 100%.
Big old anime boobs.
Do what you love. You'll never work a day in your life. There's a German film called Wetlands. You ever heard of it?
Yes, it's actually on my Netflix.
I saw it on Netflix.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard quite a bit.
So it's like this girl. She gets off by She gets off by rubbing her vagina on like random toilet seats and getting a UTI from it.
Yeah.
There's like I hear there's like really.
Then she ends up like trying to shave her asshole, and she like cuts a polyp on it, and it's just a weird John Waters type film, but it's German. You know what I mean? It's entertaining.
Like there's one she has her period and she's masturbating like in front of some people and like takes her tampon and like throws it at the wall or something. I don't know. I've heard some really fucked up things about that movie, and the girl is supposed to be like 15 or something like that. It's just like
people were jerking off to Tracy Lords in the 80s, didn't know she was fucking underage.
Yeah, but that's not anybody's fault just because nobody knew.
Have you ever watched Color Climax?
No.
Any of the Color Climax Danish stuff?
Mm-mm.
There's a fucking good chance that if you're watching Color Climax, like if you X videos, RedTube, Pornhub, anything, you type in Color Climax and you're gonna see 70s Danish shit. There's a good chance you're watching like a 17-year-old.
I'll make sure I skip that one.
Yeah.
Really? No, well, she's not 17 anymore, but happened in the 70s now. She's like in her 60s hardcore. So
dude, I don't even like watching. I've never actually downloaded or watched like TikTok, but I've seen some clips of like little game like e-girls and little cute girls do like Asian chicks doing little things on TikTok looking absolutely fucking adorable. I'm like, I don't know how old you are, and I don't want to be creepy. I can't look at you until I got very nervous about that Belle Delphine until I found out she's in her 20s. So I'm like,
the cosplayer that wears the ears.
They all wear the ears.
Sold her bathwater.
Sold her bathwater.
Pink hair. She sold her bath. Okay, I know you're talking about.
Like had a video with an octopus that she's
with googly eyes.
Yeah,
like
just hanging out with in a bathtub.
And she like rubs all over and she eats it.
She took a bath in milk too.
But see, like I said earlier, like I forego all that. I like older people. You know what I mean? Like
oh, that's what you called me, huh?
Yeah, that's what it is. Like like tell me more 10 years. Oh, I love it. I don't know what it is, man.
There is no way that you are under 18. No fucking way. You are definitely over 18.
Yeah, fuck you. I know.
Yeah, like, oh, you are so over 18 that you got to get your new driver's license. Like,
I need a new prescription in my glasses.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Tell me you're legally blind. Tell me you're legally blind.
I don't know. See if my pussy tastes like Depends.
Oh, I'm telling you, like some of the best lays I've ever had was just older women I met out of a bar.
Blue martini. Everybody has a blue martini somewhere.
She's smoking. She sounds like Patty from The Simpsons. She's like, "What are you doing?"
Hey there, honey.
Hey, you want to go back to my apartment? I'm like,
suck your skin right off your ball sack, honey.
There was a bar that we used to go to all the time. It was right across from where I used to work. I used to work at a Panera Bread, and I love that place. Oh my god. Anyway, there was a bar.
Broccoli cheddar soup. Go ahead.
And there was this old lesbian who would always try to pick me up. I mean, and we're going back 11, 12 years, something like that. And
it's more than that. It's got to be 05 or 06, something like that.
And she's just like, the things I would do to you.
She'd be talking to me. She'd peg me in the corner and be like, I do things to her that you can only imagine.
It's like, she's coming up with me. She doesn't need you. And she was probably in her 50s, 60s.
I tried to be in her 60s. Well, she looked like she was pretty grizzled.
I was in my mid 20s then.
She was definitely a gristly dyke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am fucking harder than Chinese algebra right now. Like, tell me you did.
No.
Yeah. She totally wanted to like arm wrestle me for Katie. You know what I mean? Honey,
why didn't you fucking do it? I'm telling you, I'm warped and twisted. I could condition that into something that benefited everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I am an opportunist.
Well, and you had to talk Katie into it, and she was like, "No, get me away from this weird old lady."
But here's the thing, though. There was another bar that we went to down in South in Fort Lauderdale where this girl Heidi ho. I could do a Mad Miss Piggy. Well, we were at a bar in Fort Lauderdale, and this girl, she like broke up and got pissed off at her boyfriend. So we got her drunk and we put her down on top of a high top, and I ate her out. We, like this was after the bar had closed, but there were still people that worked there. Like there was a couple other people there.
No, well, the owner of the bar beforehand, before the bar closed, I said, "Hey, if I can get the two of them to get down in here, is that cool with you?" And the owner said, "Absolutely, it's cool with me." So we put her up on the bar top. Everything's going on.
Yeah,
And then
I had her underwear down, and then and there's people just there's got her the owner of the bar, her boss is just standing there. They're all like standing there with other bartenders, just watching what was going down. I've got her on top. I've got her pussy in my mouth, and then her ex comes walking out of the back.
One of the bartenders.
He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, "I'm doing what I want." Oh.
The boss grabbed him and said, "You get your ass out of here right now, or you're fucking fired."
Shawshanked, like,
Oh, yeah. He did, and he left with his little tail between his legs and then we did our whole thing there on the bar top with the staff kind of just hanging out.
Outstanding, well played.
Oh, that's the very tip of the iceberg. Oh my God, that's one tiny little story from every fucking bad thing that we've gotten into.
Calm down, lady. I'm just saying. I have some escapades, you know what I mean? Like I've made lesbians come before. Like I'm fairly confident in what I do. And here's the thing. And so like I super appreciate people that not only recognize their own sexuality, but they can use it for good or evil. You're like a superhero, you know what I mean?
Evil.
Oh fuck yeah. And I don't know. I'm a huge fan of it. You know what? That's why I was super excited that you were like, we should talk. And I'm like, that's so fucking awesome. Because, you know, I think it's important to be able to express yourself. And so I was like, I saw that and I was like, I looked at your stuff and I was like, this is going to be an opportunity to be able to talk about that stuff in a free fashion where somebody's not like doing the Japanese, like, like, no, you fucking got to delve deep into this kind of stuff. Like you got to appreciate what it is. It is the one thing that if you take away our possessions, our clothes and trap us in a fucking, in a cage, that's the one thing we still have. Is some kind of sexuality, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think it's fucking amazing. And it's sad when I see people that are so repressed that they're just like they don't want to talk about it or they're embarrassed about it. It's like, no, hell no. Like you need to fucking open that shit up like a bat's wings, like and fucking accept it, son.
Well, that's a lot of the reasons why I loved working at adult stores because I like to find the shy ones and I would run up to them with like a gigantic dildo and I'm like, "Is this what you're looking for?" And they're like, "Oh!" And then I'm like, "No, seriously, like what can I do?" And I love to do. I would electrocute people while they were there. Especially big groups. I love big groups because we had a bed on display that had these sport sheets restraints that went on this special bed sheet that would not come off. So I would take the loud mouth of the group, usually frat guys and stuff, because this is in Orlando, and I would just throw the guy down, just totally yoke him up, get him all tied down. Then I would take this TENS unit. It's called a she-stem. And I would put it to his nipples. I would rip his shirt up. I mean, I'm sure stuff is so not allowed, but I did it anyway. And and I would shock the shit out of him. It was so much fun. I would make people like one would wear one patch, one wear the other. I'd make them touch their tongues together, so they go ah! And then they get zapped. I used to have so much fun. I was very evil, but I like talking about the different kinds of lubes, and I like talking about like, oh, okay, are you just starting out with anal sex? Do you need you should probably try an anal douche. Have you ever done that? And just talking about different techniques for blowjobs. I would give. There was a lot of there's different kinds of like clit stimulators, but the liquid kind. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. So the ones that I really enjoyed, because I tried everything in the store to make sure they worked or not, even the pills. But I would give the samples to women and have them go in the bathroom and try it. I got in trouble for that, but I did it for a while and just have them come back and they'd all have like burning clits and they loved it. It was fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. Like when you're younger and you jerk off with icy hot, right? And you're just fucking going nuts, and you're like, oh, I'm trying to end this, right? Me? Nobody? All right.
No,
Anyways.
icy. I don't know, man. I've never intentionally tried to do it.
There's not a substance out there legally sold on the market that I probably have not tried to jerk off with. Soap.
It seems very burny and stingy.
Are you into sounding?
What's that?
Sounding it's urethral sounding. You basically stretch your urethra. You stick something down.
I've had a pinky in there.
A pinky? How far'd you get? All the way?
Probably like first knuckle until I was like climbing up the wall.
Because they even have ones that have the tips vibrate. So they have different sizes. They have whole different kits. Some are double-ended with different sizes. Some vibrate. Some are electrified. Those are really neat that I found. Women can do it too, but
and they call it sounding because people take the end of tuning forks a lot of times and use that and then put it in the urethra and then ting the tuning fork for a vibrational
vibrates all the way down
effect there. Something.
It's pretty neat. But we were talking about the other day. Kind of sounding with mustard.
Not a good idea. No, negative. I would not do that.
Like French's?
Well, sure, any kind
you
you want.
To be fancy, if you have
grape
fancy
fucking
ketchup,
value because you don't know. You know what I mean? Like you want to.
You don't want to stick anything that's like food, like in your urethra at all. No, but we knew that somebody would, and somebody actually did.
Someone did try
and called and let her know, and it's like, why would you do? We totally said, do not do this.
And they did it.
Yes. Definitely.
Maybe he was taking his reverse psychology, like, mistress told me not to do it, so I'm fucking straight up hot dogging my shit.
Yeah, no, we have some people like that.
Well, that and definitely he was already injecting other shit down his dick hole. It's probably more likely, like that mustard. He's like, oh, I never thought about that.
Well, because we had also talked about and joked about aerosol squeeze cheese. You know, like those, can of cheese.
Cheese was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea. Oh,
because if you don't use it all, now you have something afterwards because you get hungry after sex.
See, make some nachos. You shove a few jalapenos down there.
Dude, you have those
a little bit of seasoning.
You put some cheese on it, like after you bust a nut. Like fuck yeah, son.
Yeah, we went Mexican tonight, bitch. Check it out.
Put a little cheese plug in there, so in the first shot,
What kind of Mexican you got there in Florida?
I don't know.
What? What do you mean? What kind of Mexican?
Mexican.
Is it good? Is it like Cuban? Is it what are we talking?
Oh,
there's Mexican places. I mean, some of them are
places
authentic, and some of them are
not.
Taco Bell.
Yeah,
yeah. Bro, there's good burrito places and shit, but probably not like California.
I'm like pretty close to Tijuana here. Even though there's like a plethora of fucking Mexican places, Taco Bell is still pretty popular. And it just goes to show you what people are going to be like. You know what I mean? Like you have the way things out here is like the dirtier the place looks, the better the food's going to be.
Oh no, same over here. Same here. If it's a little mom and pop place that looks like gross that you would not want to use the bathroom in,
fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like why is there a line outside?
Out here we got the California burrito. It's basically carne asada, French fries, sour cream, fucking cheese, or gasmic.
I bet that sounds so good.
It's so fucking amazing. Just you put French fries in it. Why don't you just fucking throw some grease in my face while I eat it?
I'm just gonna clear something up right now. People where we live now, they put salami on a Cuban, and that's not salami. Doesn't belong on a fucking Cuban.
That's like sacrifice, isn't it?
So they're like, that's how we do it up here. I'm like, that's not how Cuban people do it in South Florida.
But there's Cuban people in Tampa as well.
Right? Tocino ham.
Well, different kinds of ham, like Serrano works really well.
But they like they'll do a fresh pork,
like a pernil,
a deli ham of some sort.
What's that Ibiza ham? The Ibiza pigs. What are those fucking things called?
Oh, the ones that just eat acorns and shit, and you like shave it super thin.
Like a wagyu of pork.
Like Haverco.
Ibiza Iberico or whatever it is.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've had a good Cuban pickle slice, a little fucking hot mustard on there. Just hit me in the face with one and call me dirty. Yeah. So it's just I think this is cool because I think that I think so you look at Japanese people, right? And they got some of the worst. Well, they got some of the most extreme. I didn't mean to say worse. Some of the most extreme sexual preferences out there because they are very restricted people. They're very, it's supposed to be like you're not supposed to experience that stuff. Next thing you know, you got tentacle porn, right?
Fuck yeah, hentai. What?
Right, and I watch some of it. Sometimes I watch like the Teen Titans, you know what I mean, or Family Guy. You got to watch it a little bit. Like the son comes home, or even the son from American Dad crosses over into Family Guy, and you're like, oh, look at that, that's fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
I thought you were talking about watching the cartoon porn version.
Oh, I do, 100%. I like cartoons.
I'm like, that's where I thought you were going with that. We go from tentacle porn to The Simpsons. You're like, what? No.
I've seen Simpson tentacle porn before.
Oh well, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. But yeah, I like it. I'm into it.
You know what I don't like though? It's weird. Is I don't like the porn where it's like the big fake boob chick and the guy with abs and stuff. That he's like a Marine and they're like, we'll give you $300 to do this, and you're like, it's kind of not natural. It's just not. I like to see regular people. I want to see the chick at the grocery store and the Domino's delivery guy going at it. I like to see that because it's real. It's like raw. It's like these people are like, they might be slightly self-conscious, but they're just following their animal instincts. And that's the important thing right there. And that's where you really can enjoy it. Because it's like Jenna Jameson, she's fine. I met her at the fucking Hustler store out here, but it's like, like I can take you or leave you. You know what I mean?
Well, I hate to break it to you, but some of the mothers and sons, they're not really related.
Don't you put that fucking hell. All right.
I want to know. First, your
I want to know. I want to watch Taboo, and I want to be like, fuck yeah, they were bored. The dad's out on like a business trip. He's taking a bath. The mom's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see that.
That's still one of the most popular classic old movies are the Taboo series. People still 100%. Clamor for him.
I forgot what his name was. It's not John Doe. It's It's a guy and his aunt and her friend and the kid's asleep and she comes in and she's like, oh look, his dick's sticking out. She's like, I better slicken it up and put it back in his pants. It's from like 88 or something like that.
So it could be like 20,000 titles.
No, it's like a specific guy. The first porn I ever watched was called Ghostess with the Mostess. And it was this family as Joey Silvera. And they all moved into like this house, and then there was like this dead couple. They were ghosts. It was kind of like Beetlejuice, but with cum shots, right?
Oh.
And it was really good. And fuck, what was his name? Not John Doe. Man, I'm terrible at naming male porn stars. But it was really good. And I cut my teeth on that, and I kind of look at it, and I think like this is, I want to continue that trend. You know what I mean?
My first stuff.
Go ahead.
No, say my first stuff was the like softcore porn on Skinamax, like the Lady Chatterley and that kind of thing. Mine was even like, it wasn't even that like 80s. It was like Lady Chatterley in space and like the Red Shoe Diaries. Do you remember what?
Emmanuel.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Something cock to je petit Emmanuel. Right, and I used to watch that stuff, and I'm from a small town in northern Michigan, so I didn't experience a lot of the world. And I'm sitting there like, man, I want to go to fucking Malaysia and walk in with like a shirt that's unbuttoned down to my belly button and be all kind of sweaty in like some weird little bar and just bang some hot chick on a table.
You could probably do that in some country now.
You could do that in the USA right now, for sure.
No.
There's so many horny people that are unquarantined. They're like, I can't take this anymore. Just come to Florida. They'll fuck you.
No, there's places here for sure you could do that and be okay. Yeah, you'd be all right.
You guys got the shemales with the big dicks down there?
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
how big their dicks are,
Okay.
but I'm sure there's quite a few transgender something
Yeah.
one phase or another, or just cross
An
dressers,
Airbnb
or
with a female with a giant dick.
an Airbnb with a what?
No, I've seen.
Female with a giant dick, right? It kind of looks like Katie got a big old 8-inch uncircumcised shit. Let's fucking go, son.
I'm
I'm
sure they're
booking
around.
on that stuff.
Oh, I'm sure there's tons of them. Trust me. There's a lot. I mean, I got a strap on. it's circumcised though. I'm
Fun
not a fan of
fact,
the sweater.
I found a fucking strap on. It's like an 8-inch one. When I was staying with some friends one time, we found it in a box in the garage, and I put that shit on my head, chase people around like a rhino.
Yeah, no, I've seen people do that. Or also the accommodator. It's one that it's a dildo that you put over your head and it straps to your chin. So when you're eating
Oh, I
pussy,
got that.
it's your chin. Yeah, but some people they stick it to their forehead because there are some of the strong suction cup ones that will stick to your forehead. I had a panic attack once when I was still living at home with my parents. I had a dildo that had a pretty strong suction cup on it, and I had it in the bathroom, and I had the toilet seat down. I had it stuck on the toilet seat, and I was riding the toilet seat. Well, they came home. My parents came home, and I was trying to get it off of the toilet seat, and I couldn't, and it like pulled off, and the suction cup stayed. I'm like, fuck, like what am I gonna do? So I ended up like running later, like when they were getting like groceries out of the car or something, and I got a butter knife, and I finally pried it off the seat. I like scratched the top of the seat. Like what happened? I'm like, oh no.
I mean, who hasn't been there? You know what I mean?
No, I know. It was,
You put it on like a tile wall in a bathroom, and it pulls the tile off. You're like, what am I gonna tell my parents?
it's just like, I had a little accident, or I don't know. I've done some very awful things.
Well,
that I
you know, it's funny when you look at like girls' sex toys versus you. You know, the sex toy is always huge, and you're like probably a little over 7 inches. You're like, Jesus Christ! Like, she's like, you want to use sex toy? You pull this fucking thing out. It's got like a kickstand on it. It's like, what am I supposed to do?
What do you mean? What are you supposed to do with that? You're supposed to shove it in her pussy or in her ass. I mean, you can't do everything a toy can do. Just don't feel bad.
Are you telling me I'm not supposed to tap it on her forehead and be like, yeah, call me your legal guardian?
I promise if you shut up, I'll buy your cookies.
Listen, I only date orphans, all right? I hate meeting parents.
Oh.
We have fun. This is fantastic.
I'm actually going to bed not too long from now because you're out there.
You.
You're out there in California. California.
It's 6:20. What time is it there?
It's 9:20. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Dude, I get up at fucking 4.
Oh, well, I've already been up for a few hours once you get up.
I'm going to fucking jump up and be like, Katie's not up yet.
And then I'll send you a message, be like, been up for 2 hours, bitch. No.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking hit you up and be like, what are you doing? Sleeping in? I guess so, huh? No, but I'm about to leave California, man. Like, if this all goes through, I'm out of here. Like, and here's the thing. So I'm like a traditionally educated dude. So trying to pitch somebody like an investor, that's a fucking crazy thing for me to have done. And it weirded me out all day. You know, it's taking a risk. It's like straight up telling somebody like, look, you got to put 50 G's into something, and I will do my goddamnedest to get you a return within the first year. Based on my knowledge, the cycle that it takes, like you use cannabis, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a process, you know. So from say you start from a seed, it's going to be 4 months. Say you start from a clone, it's going to be like 3.5 months kind of thing. And it just it's kind of like a new horizon for me, and I'm kind of excited about it. I'm a little terrified, but I'm not focusing on the terrified part of it because I believe in myself. I can do this. You know what I mean?
Well, good.
And so I'm a little excited about it, and just I kind of wanted to go back to Michigan. I don't know if I guarantee you've been to California, and so it's a nice place, beautiful place. It's just it's far too expensive for like the kind of things you want out here. For like $500,000 for like a 1,200 square foot house with no property whatsoever. It's like I can $500,000 in another state. I can get a lake house for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so Michigan's a good state for cannabis. I have a lot of friends that are making infinite amounts of money for that. And so I'm excited about that. So
Well, I wish you good luck with it.
yeah, I just it's sometimes in life you gotta take a risk, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta throw away all premonition of like fear, and you just gotta fucking just go balls deep into that stuff. And so kind of excited about it. So like being able to talk to you, having a positive conversation with this guy, it's been a good Sunday for me. You know what I mean? It's been a
Good.
fucking fantastic Sunday for me, and I'm super excited about it. So I wanted to continue on because you know what, life is all about positive experiences. There's so much negativity, you can bury yourself under that. You can just wallow in it, and it can be like knee deep kind of sewage shit that's just going to drag you down. But I think it's important to focus on the real things that you can do and look forward to it, you know. And so this has been a good day for me, and it's been a while since I've had a good day. So Katie, thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome, and I really wish you good luck in your endeavors. And I hope that you get many, many people kind of getting in on your whole operation.
I'm telling you, I'm just saying, like, everybody likes weed, right? And why shouldn't weed be a part of a lot of people's lives?
There you go.
I told Ron Jeremy when I talked to him, like, why don't you have a brand of cannabis? Mike Tyson has a brand of cannabis.
He doesn't need to have one right now. He's got enough going on.
Dude, okay, so like I did, I was super excited. I was hitting everybody up from like LL Cool J to just like Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order, and I'm like, I figure you ain't got shit to do. Let's talk a podcast, right? Ron Jeremy's manager hits me up. I'm like, let's fucking talk to Ron Jeremy. And the first thing I said to Ron Jeremy is like, it's nice to have you on my computer screen. My dick's not on my hand, right? This is a stupid joke. And I did all good, and then 2 weeks later, the motherfucker gets charged with sexual assault, and it's like, oh, come on. Like, can't I catch a break here? Like, why couldn't I interview Ross from fucking Friends, And it's just like, but whatever. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
Well,
Ross
I mean,
Friends,
I don't know. Well, just so you know, I've never been arrested, and I've
been arrested many times, right, for just low level shit that doesn't mean anything. But I've spent some time in jail, right? Probably 6 months out of my total life, but it was in county, right, where it's not really like, it's consensual sex, where it's like they leave kind of like flowers on your bunk, where it's like, hey, what do you think? And it's okay.
little ones I pick from the yard, or little homemade ones that are origami from paper.
Yeah, you're like,
carved out
like
of
I'm getting out of here in 6 months. I need a blowjob. You're like, what are bros for? All right.
There you go. Why not?
I gave you my Fritos at a commissary. Let's do it. No, none of that's true. Or maybe it might be true. You know what? One time I drank piss out of a beer bottle because I pissed in a beer bottle and I forgot I did. So, and here's the funny thing. If you've never drank piss in your life, but you drink piss, you immediately know it's piss. Isn't that weird?
It's the nose. It's got to be.
That's proprioception. That's that sixth sense right there. You're like, this is urine, even though I've never had urine in my mouth.
That you know of.
But you know what it is.
This tastes just like my girlfriend's squirt.
Would you really know what it is? Really? Yeah, no. That doesn't taste like the marinara he had last week a little bit.
No, there's turmeric in it. You're like, I'm Robert Stack, and this is Unsolved Mysteries. Right?
This is asparagus and scallops?
What is this? There's a lot of urea in it. What's urea? I don't know, but I tasted it.
It's the new LaCroix. Shut up and drink it.
So I was doing the two girls one cup research, and so I'm trying to frame the episode as like the different sexual fetishes and Pornhub searches per country. You know what I mean? And Germany ranks the top for like a golden shower, right? And then I watch a lot of German porn, and so they like to preface a sexual encounter with a golden shower before everything.
Well, sure, because it gets them all prepped. They're like anointed. It's like it's a thing.
So like one of the better ones is like it's a girl. She's like 22. There's a bunch of 50-year-old dudes. They piss on her in a bathtub, and then afterwards, she gets into it. And it's just like, and then you're left with that mystery. Like, did she shower? Did she use some Listerine? Or are they just like, I don't fucking care. Let's just, we only got so much hours of filming to go, according to whatever union you're in, and we got to do this.
They probably don't care. It's
They
probably just
don't
like,
fucking care
whatever.
whatsoever.
Yeah, no,
They're
they
like,
probably, it's not a big deal.
Ich bin Bonsuns Joden. They're like,
I've
all right, let's do it.
No, I mean, I've peed on people before. I've peed on a bunch of people before.
Really?
Yeah, I peed on people. I was peed on once but it was for something, but not in my face. So I'm like,
It was
no.
for something. It was for a charity event, and so I decided, no, Toys for Tots. They're good. They're good people.
Cunts for cancer,
Tons for cancer, dicks for the disabled. Just whatever. I'm happy to help.
Like to give. I'm a giver.
This has probably been the best moment of my 2020.
Anal for the asthmatics. No. Autistic. Anal for autistic or autism.
Oh, facial for fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia.
Listen, there's kids out there that collect too much mucus in their membranes. Okay, so I'm gonna have to piss on your forehead. Like, I understand. I understand that we've got to help the kids.
It's the new challenge,
It's the new challenge. It's the
like
new
the
ice.
That's right. ALS of the ice bucket challenge.
And the thing about the ice bucket challenge is, like, if they stopped calling it Lou Gehrig's disease. That's why they had to reintroduce it to people by throwing ice water on people. If you just fucking called it Lou Gehrig's disease like it's always been, we wouldn't have had to do that whole stupid shit.
Well, I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. That's just me and my grandma. What do you do?
The question really is, now that you're aware, now what? Now what happens after you were aware? What is it you were supposed to do?
Yeah, they're like, we're trying to bring awareness to this, and it's like, okay, I kind of knew about it. They're like, we're bringing domestic violence awareness. Like, yeah, I've seen what's love got to do with it. Like, what are we supposed to do from here?
Seen that firsthand, buddy. Jesus. What are you telling me about domestic violence? What do you mean? You don't have an Uncle Ricky? Everybody's got an Uncle Ricky.
Everybody's got that Uncle Eric that punches hole in drywall. What do you want?
Or your anus, either way.
Like, I didn't fight. I fucking knew it was a thing. What do you fucking think I'm a reason? Hey, thanks. I'm an idiot. I had no idea this was a thing. AIDS awareness. Really? I've never heard Queen in my life. Like, get the like, awareness is kind of a dumb thing. It's like, let's stop calling it awareness. It's like, look, we're trying to do some shit about this. Like, be real with it. Awareness. Like, thanks. You know what? The Red Cross has a CEO that collects a 6-figure income. So, I mean, what kind of awareness do you want me to be aware of?
And I found out only $10 out of my $400 portion only went to the kids.
Well, did you know you can sponsor children overseas and claim them on your taxes? I have 14 dependents. And it costs me $4.30 a month.
There you go. You're a giver too.
I'm a giver. I'm naturally a giver. Listen, Katie, it's truly been amazing. I think it's so fucking cool that you decided to do this with me. I have been so excited since you messaged me and you were just like, we can shoot the shit. And I've been on cloud 9 for days, right?
You're so flattering.
The same people that I corner in Starbucks about a Serbian film, like, and I'm talking to Kinky Katie. They're like, okay, what name you want in your cup? And I'm like, no, you gotta listen. I'm not popular in my town.
Sorry, neither am I. That's why I moved.
No. Listen, I may be presumptuous. I want to do this again.
Okay, sure.
I fucking want to do this again. This has been so cool. I've talked to a lot of people. It's just I had the same feeling I talking to you as I did to like Ron Jeremy, Brian Simpson, the Comedy Central comic. I'm like starstruck. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna deny that kind of stuff.
You're making me blush.
You are like, you fall into the category of people who have taken a hold of your life, and you're living it to the fullest, and that is just that creates a deep jealousy inside of me, because that's what I strive for, and I applaud you for that. I think it's the coolest thing in the world.
I appreciate it.
And just the fact that you gave me any time whatsoever is just it's the coolest. It's the fucking bee's knees.
Aw, stop it. You're very sweet. I had a lot of fun. I thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, this was cool, and especially, you know, we get to talk about things that normally like would just stop people up. They're like, I've never been pissed on. I don't know about that.
I'm like, really?
Like, well, really? Well, you have not lived
Until you've had an Alaskan snowshoe.
That was my high school football nickname.
Oh. Now, did you use maple syrup?
Yeah. It was, when I was a kid, we called it the awful waffle from
Camp
Salute Your
Onawana?
Shorts. Camp Onawana.
I'm actually friends with Donkey Lips.
I'm friends
on
with
Facebook. Huh?
I'm friends with Sponge.
Yeah, on Facebook. And I was just like,
How crazy is that? I'm friends with fucking Sponge.
Well, there you go. Everyone's got their own like little weird people that they know.
Well, Sponge is a musician too. He does like a lot of karaoke videos. So I'm like, yeah, I just kind of remember you from like Salute My Shorts.
Well, I was gonna go see. They were here I guess it's been over a year. But Pete and Pete, they
have a podcast.
Yeah, I know they were doing a live one here, like not too far. They were going to do it in Ybor City, and I didn't go. I didn't get there though. They were doing it at some brewery, and I didn't end up going. But yeah, no, they were doing the live podcast from there.
It's like I said, nostalgia is a big thing to me because not to delve too deep, but a lot of my family's dead. We had the curse. We grew up in northern Michigan, drugs, alcohol, kind of thing. And so it reminds me of times, the good times that you want to remember in your life. And so I appreciate that a whole lot. It's the same reason like why I have no shame about Starstruck is I like meeting celebrities. I've met a lot of them through my time at like the Comedy Store, going to Comic-Con out here and stuff like that. And I always tell them, it's like, listen, I appreciate the joy you've brought into my life through your medium. And I think it's so super cool of what you do. And I want you to know that, I'm sure there's millions of people like me that just appreciate what you do. And I think you've reached a level that a lot of people in life don't ever get to, where they want to do something or they pursue it and they don't get that chance or they don't take that risk. And it's inspiring and it brings entertainment and it secures a place in my heart. And I think that's so fucking cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So absolutely have to do this again.
Of course.
I will press on to this until we have a Showtime show together. So
okay.
Nancy will be there.
Right.
This will be the new Howard Stern. This will be a Howard Stern of anal sex.
Yeah. So. We'll see how far we can stretch you.
3 fingers. What?
Hey, we're not going to start off with the ass gnome. Don't worry. I'll start off slow. I'm very gentle. It can be.
And that's fine. Just spit on me and tell me I'm worthless. So, Kinky Katie SC, Florida, you guys are fucking awesome. And thank you very much. Thank you for everything.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will be in touch.
Yes, ma'am. So, as always, never go quietly. Peace.
Bye.